But the world's gone crazy. It just continues to be crazy. And the craziness is next level everywhere. Things can never really go back to what they were, folks. It's a new world we're moving into. And what it's going to be is going to be determined by us.
You know, I've travelled to over 108 countries in my life. I've been right around the world many times. I've seen lots of people from lots of countries. I've never met anybody who wanted a war. It's all governments who want to do this all the time. It's governments who control the whole situation. And they play everybody off against each other, and they all work together. And that's something we've got to realise, is that we're dealing with a multinational criminal cabal. And the only reason they get away with what they're doing is because we continually comply with our own enslavement, and we have to simply disconnect from it, stop complying with it. And the best form of non-compliance is to step into your heart. It really is. You know, if you obey your moral compass in everything you do, then the system can't do anything for you. It can't control you, because you continually have to step outside your moral compass to abide legislation all the time. And I just refuse to do that, because most of the time in our lives we're not what we want to be. We're doing something that someone else has told us to do. We're following parameters that someone else has given us. We're following guidelines that someone else has put there for us. We're not living our own life. And we're stepping outside our moral compass in every minute of every day in order to put food on the table. We have to stop that. We have to really step back and look at this and realize that it's already a community of people. If you can look at people as being yourself, another yourself, simply viewing reality from that perspective, suddenly all the barriers break down between people, and you find that you can live your life in a state of abundance and giving. And it isn't a state that you're keeping tabs on what you're giving to people. I just give unconditionally to people.
We have every opportunity to create some really good change here, we really do. You know, for the first time in living memory, the entire system's been laid bare. All those people who were classed as conspiracy theorists, well, here it is. It's not a theory anymore. And it's most definitely a conspiracy. I mean, you should be able to see that just by the way the governments are all working together to do the same thing. It's all in lockstep. People might think, well, how could these governments agree to do this when they can't agree on anything? But the thing is, they can agree on everything, and they always have agreed on everything. All of the things they've shown us, it's all been theatre, folks. Theatre for the masses. To make us think that the governments are actually the enemies of each other. To make us think that we need governments to protect us. But who we need them to protect us from? Well, the other governments, of course. Without our government, the other governments might want to help us. But that never happens, folks. Even when we go to war with other countries, they never bomb the government buildings. They just bomb the people. It's a pretty twisted world, eh? But now's the time to push back. Now's the time to put down all the fear. I mean, it's come to the wire now, folks. What are you going to do? You're going to just do what you're told and get taken away and be put somewhere else and, you know?
You know, your heart is the most powerful thing, and opening up your heart to people is what will change the world. That's how we can get through this system, by realizing that it's all a fiction. And even people that learn the legal stuff and all the law stuff and how to get through it, to go to fight the system, what for? You're fighting a fiction, you're fighting a cloud, you're learning all this stuff to fight a cloud. So how real is it? You know, why are you learning all this stuff to go and fight something which is just an idea? What you've got to do is just disconnect from it. Disconnect from the whole thing. And the way you do that, again, is to connect to your heart and to connect to the people around you. Because when you do that, government ceases to exist. So we don't need to build any new system. We've got a system here already that could work, only we have to constantly step outside our moral compass to comply with it. And that's why it doesn't work. When you think about it, folks, as soon as you start doing the right thing in all that you do, and all your actions are according to your moral compass, this system cannot exist. It simply cannot function in that environment. It only functions now because we're so willing to step outside of our hearts and do whatever we're told. Yes sir, no bags, 3 bags full, sir. And all we're really doing is paying protection money. That's what taxes are, it's protection money. I'll pay my taxes, you go and bomb those guys over there, just leave us alone here. It's all good. You know, and that's what we do. So now we run through our lives searching for some form of value of ourselves. You know, so many people just want to feel like they have value. They want to feel like they actually mean something. They're not just a little cog in the big machine. Well, guess what? You all do mean something. You know, you're not what this system has told you that you are. Every single one of you is a divine expression of creation that can do incredible things. The best form of non-compliance is to step into your heart and do the right thing. Follow the rules of Dharma, do the right thing in the right way at the right time for the right reason. And if you live your life in a state of unconditional love and service to creation, then you can find the path through that. And service to creation, it's not service to others at the expense of yourself. Put yourself on an even keel with everybody else. Don't serve others and deplete yourself. Don't serve yourself and deplete others. Put yourself on an even keel, in Icke, and we can change the world.
The thing about these people who try and censor the internet, they don't even think what they're doing is bad, and nobody stands up to them. This is what happens when incompetent people panic. We have, partly because of the degradation of the education systems of most Western countries in the past 50 years, and for other reasons as well, we have a political class which is composed of undistinguished people who know very little, who have very little experience, and who, when confronted with any kind of crisis, don't know what to do. On this occasion, they were advised strongly by people that they should take extreme and disproportionate measures, and they didn't have the sense to say no. And having made this grotesque mistake, which they must now understand was a mistake, particularly economically, but also politically, they are afraid to admit it. And the only thing to do is for them to continue with it. It's utopians who are always the threat, because utopians believe that they're so good and their objectives are so wonderful that anybody who disagrees with them is not just wrong, but bad. And therefore it is legitimate, first of all, to suppress what they say, and ultimately to kill them, which is why, as I also say, utopia can only ever be approached across a sea of blood, and you never arrive. Nothing like this has ever been attempted before. No government in peacetime has ever borrowed so much money from nowhere. And also no government in peacetime has taken deliberate action to destroy so many industries and to destroy so many jobs. And then covered up its, what you might call its crime, covered up its crime by continuing to pay them with money that it has not got. Now I know that governments, sovereign governments, can create money up to a point. But unless they're autarkic and they're completely insulated from the outside world, there is a limit to this. And also, if that money starts to escape into the pockets of the general population, it has to be severely inflationary. So you have a combination of quite severe job losses in an economy not very well positioned, because it has very little in the way of manufacturing left, not in a good position to regenerate itself. Very reliant on the services which are precisely the things which have been most damaged by the shutdown. And I can see nothing good. I hear the distant growl of Niagara Falls. And here I am, sitting in a boat controlled by a captain who doesn't seem to have any awareness. It is a matter of historical fact that when the middle class is destroyed in this way, instability, serious political instability, necessarily follows. And it scares me. There are some occasions when I'm quite glad that I'm nearly 70. So what? I mean, I have children, I have grandchildren, the world will continue to exist after I'm gone. I have to worry about it. And it's very frightening. I don't get any real sense that serious people are giving it serious consideration. A lot of people will find also that they may think that there will be a new normal in which this will continue, but their employers won't be able to do so. And never has a better argument been made for 0 hours contracts instead of secure employment. And all those people who have established to their satisfaction that they can work without ever going near the office may well have established that to their employers' satisfaction as well. And you say, right, well, in that case, in future, you're on a contract. Why am I supplying this office, these facilities for you if you're not going in? In future, I'll hire you when I need you and otherwise not. And it's a whole different way of life.